Hey guys, welcome back to another TW video here. Story time. 2-3 weeks ago, I put out a video, best riding day ever on the TW and XT250, something like that. I'll link the video. But we did a long riding day, and the first leg of the day, we rode to the Beverly Sand Dunes in Eastern Washington. Cool spot if you're in the area or you're in Washington. It's like quite a destination, I think. For side-by-sides, quads, bikes, everything. So that was the first leg of our day. I figured it'd be a cool place to stop. So the road there is like 50, 60 mile an hour, and it was like 30 miles. And if you know anything about riding these bikes on roads like that, you just kind of try and get it over with. And so we're coming into the town, and I realized my high beam is on. So I clicked the high beam off. It must have gotten, clicked on when we were loading the bikes or unloading the bikes, because I brought them up. We bring to Eastern Washington in the trailer. If you haven't watched that video, I got a video about how we transport them in my cargo trailer. Anyway, the high beam was on, so I clicked it off. So I'd ridden, it was 25, 30 miles with the high beam on. It didn't really matter because it was middle of the day, sunny day. But I clicked that high beam off. I thought, okay, that's random and weird. Continue on, the pavement ends, and we pull into the ORV park, the sand dune, and we park in like this parking lot, hang out, we're taking a break, eating a snack, stretching our butts, because they're sore from riding, eating a snack, taking our jackets off, enjoying a little sunshine, that kind of stuff. And I'm talking to this guy who's parked next to us. He's got his quads and stuff. And so then, we get all geared back up, fire up the bikes to leave, clicking my bike over, and I got nothing. Hit and start. I got nothing. Normally, click it on. Headlight comes on. Green light comes on. Shows you're in neutral. I made sure I was in neutral. I could not get the green light to turn on. And, I made sure that wasn't off. I made sure that was on. It was click and start. It was not starting. And there's my high beam button for those that were curious. It was on and I shut it off. So I had nothing. But I'm super smart, luckily. So I go over to my USB thing. Right now it says 12.4. And I said, whatever the time it said, 12.7, 13.1, whatever. So I was like, okay, I know my the battery is full or, ready to go. What the heck? Maybe it's I don't know. My first thought was, I'm going to hook up some jumper cables to Casey's bike, and it just some freak thing. So I probably looked like an idiot. But, went over to some guy, and he had some jumper cables. So we're charging this bike off Casey's bike. Nothing. So I got this unscrewed already just for make it easier for the video. So I got 2 sets of auxiliary wires here, right? So one's for the Trotec Voyager Pro, this housing thing. Then the other's for the USB drive, or USB charger, a micro USB charger. So I unhooked those, I unscrew them, and so it's just the main positive and negative cables. Still nothing on the key, still nothing, wouldn't start. And so the guy in the toy hauler parked next to us, who we had been talking to earlier, he goes, let's just bump start the bike to make sure that it actually runs and you could get home or continue on. And so I'm like, okay, perfect. So, it's compact, flat gravel space, but him and Casey pushed me on the bike, bump started first try. I was like, okay, I'm relieved. So something still is weird though. But I'm going to shut the bike off, see if it wants to fire up by itself. If not, we're going to look into this further. So shut it off. It would not fire up again, or it would not fire up still. And so I said, okay, something's still wrong here. So I put these cables back on, and then, I wasn't freaking out because I knew that the bike would still start with by bump starting it again. But so, I was kind of freaking out because that was the beginning of this long day that I had planned, and still relatively new bike, so on and so forth. for those of you curious, in here I usually keep you know, insurance and registration, the original toolkit, and then this is a Milwaukee multi-bit screwdriver. Just fits in there like that, super handy. But I took it out just because I was kind of prepping to show you guys all this. So this is your starter relay power distribution box thing. And so I'm like, okay, you know, I popped this off, and I'd seen this, you know, I looked at all this in the past, but never really studied it because, well, it's a TW, you know, these things are bulletproof. Didn't think I needed to know how to, I didn't think I needed to know what all these things were specifically. Well, yeah. So they got these two little plastic cover condom things. So I pulled those off, and I pulled this fuse out, 20 amp fuse. These are proper fuse pulling pliers, by the way. Pulled it out, fuse was blown. I was like, okay, perfect. That's obviously the issue. And the guy who was parked next to me was just still standing there. I'm like, hey, so you got an extra fuse, right? He's like, yes, I got one. I'm like, thank you. He gives me another 20 amp fuse, put it in, bike fires up. Perfect. Thank the guy a million. We're on our way. Well, I was still worried the rest of the day. Like, was it the high beam really that blew this? I wasn't running the other accessories. I was running no accessories. And the high beam is literally the only possible thing I could think of that was the reason this blew. So I came back home, jumped on the lube tube, started searching videos, and I subscribed to T-Dub's kid. He has a ton of T-Dub content, and he's been putting T-Dub content on YouTube for at least like 5-6 years. Some really good stuff. So I watched a couple videos about him that he put out about the fuses, and this is actually the only working fuse in this situation. This one is your frickin' spare. It's also a 20 amp fuse. And when you look in here, where that goes, it's just like a plastic sleeve. Versus this bottom one is actually going into some metal, whatever you want to call it. It's actually, but the metal blades on the fuse are actually connecting to more metal. And it just feels differently going in. But that top one is your frickin' spare. So that was good to learn. But good learning day. You know, I wasn't born knowing everything. You gotta have situations like this. You gotta have days like this to learn stuff like this. So I was really happy that the guy that we were parked to was super cool and willing to help and everything. So, and I had never bump started this bike before, and it's a really easy bike to bump start because it's so light. So that was good to learn too. And we did it on flat ground. And we just did neutral and bumped it up into second and fired up. So, anyone out there, I want to know, is the high beam really why this happened? Wasn't doing anything else, running any other accessories. Day started normal, fired up fine in the morning, ran 30 miles down there. It was damn near 50 mile an hour the entire time. You know, between 45 and 55 or something, but 50 mile an hour damn near the whole way, and the high beam's the only thing I can think of. And I have no idea, was that little extra power enough to blow that starter fuse? And why would it blow the starter fuse and not, I don't know. I don't know if there are any more fuses to blow. I don't know if what's in there or what, but yeah. That's all. Hopefully someone could take something away from this video. Learning moment for me, hopefully learning moment for someone else. Let me know on the high beam. More riding videos to come. I did a fun ride 2 days ago, and then there's still rides from a few weeks ago. I'm super busy, and I'm always playing catch up with these riding videos. And I'm trying to put out other videos, like on the excavator. I got another bike. I got an OG Honda Trail 110. I can put some videos out about that, but got some videos on the Tacoma. I'm trying to mix up the content for everyone, but the TW is obviously the most loved and most watched video. So any other TW specific questions, let me know, or any other videos you want me to put out. I do plan to do an XT250 versus TW video where Casey and I swap bikes and go for a ride on each other's bikes, and make a video about that. But thanks for watching this one. I'll see you in the next.